The morning was dark and cold. Most of the other stalkers all huddled around the fires, cooking their breakfast, or just trying to keep warm like the rest of us. Others continued their patrols back and forth, keeping an eye out for bandits and mutants alike. They truly were the only reason this village even existed. Without them, the zone would have killed us all a long time ago. So it was time. Time to find the S.T.A.L.K.E.R guy. It seemed like everything in the zone pointed towards him. I wanted to know why.
Центр зоны тоже мне. Артефактов кот наплакал.
Doctor, S.T.A.L.K.'s old friend. He retired to the Great Swamps. Seemed like as good of a lead as any. I just had to head north to the train tracks again. But instead of east, I would go west. Luckily, there was a path that made this journey a little shorter. Another gloomy day to be sure, but I felt good. I was confident and well supplied, going to explore a new portion of the zone. I was beginning to feel purpose again, though I didn't really know why. But this S.T.A.L.K.E.R, I knew he would lead me to the answer. Even though the sun was starting to come up, I pulled out my flashlight because it was still pretty hard to see. I didn't want to stub my toe on a radioactive nail or something. Ah, great. A dark, ominous tunnel. Who could have guessed that would be the shortcut? Fuck. It seemed to be clear. I didn't see any anomalies or hear any movement, but that didn't mean jack shit here in the zone. Some of these anomalies are near invisible. It was like constantly walking through a minefield. Albeit a supernatural one, but a minefield nonetheless. I don't even think I can imagine the circumstances that would drive someone to sleep here of all places. Especially with the village not being that far away. There was a weird shimmer around these plants hanging from the ceiling of the tunnel. Not quite sure why, but I knew that I probably shouldn't risk touching them. And to my surprise, I was able to get through the tunnel without any complications. There was a spot for a fire, god damn it. Not another one of these fucking things. You know, I was really getting tired of everything trying to kill me. You know, at least these things don't have me brains to go along with those thick skulls. I let the comforting warmth of the new fire wash over me. Let it warm the core and reinvigorate me before the next leg of my journey. The path to the Great Swamps was just ahead, and I was not looking forward to slogging my way through the thick, cold mud. A bird flew up right above my head. I decided that it was time for some normal meat. Or, well, at least less radiated and mutated. Here we go. The great swamps were just over this hill. As I crested the hill, the clouds let loose a downpour of rain, coating everything in a sheen of cold despair. As the name said, this was a swamp. Everything was constantly wet and muddy. There were various paths by other stalkers leading through the swamp, but taking one would only increase the risk of running into someone else, possibly someone less friendly. That was a risk I really didn't feel like taking at this moment. So it came down to that old adage, you know the one, the path less traveled. It looked like Doctor was on the other side of the swamp. Luckily, all I had to do was follow the northern border, and I would get to him. So that meant all I really had to do was skirt around the edge of the swamp, letting me avoid as much of the sloppy mud as possible. But first, I had a few buildings in front of me that I needed to search. There were a few things here and there, but nothing really that useful. It was time to move on. The faster I found this doctor would mean the faster I could get out of these damn swamps. God, the grass here's taller than me. This would be bad news for me if I ran into any trouble. I was debating whether I wanted to search those buildings in front of me. They didn't seem that far away. But ultimately I decided that I'd much rather get out of the swamps as quickly as I could. Okay, it looked like a rail line up ahead. If I got there, I could just follow it all the way over to Doctor. Just up ahead was the railway with the train still on it. I just had to make my way through some radiation first. Nothing too difficult. What was that? Fuck, was I spotted? Or were they shooting at something else? It really didn't seem like they were shooting at me. So either they didn't see me, or maybe they were friendly. I had no way of really knowing which, though. All I could do was move closer and pray to God that I didn't catch a bullet. Maybe it's okay. Ah, shit, not okay, not okay.
We're in some deep shit here, boys. We're under attack by Stalkers in the Great Swamp, south of the road to Agripol.
Maybe I could sneak around these assholes. Get a better shot.
Попали, сука!
I heard the man drop. I could only imagine him grasping at the hole that was now in his throat, choking on his own blood, trying to grasp at the last few seconds of what remained of his miserable life. Seems clear. Time to fuck. Fuck you. Now, it was clear. Turn to pops and pills. Oh, just jeez. These ones are really giving me some vertigo. Ah, yeah. But I didn't have time to waste. I wanted to get out of the rain as fast as possible. I was cold, hungry, and irradiated. A fucking great combination to make you feel good. After quite a bit of time, I was finally coming up on Doctor's location. It was somewhere around this destroyed railway bridge up ahead. But when I got there, I didn't see anything that looked like a place to live, let alone a place to retire to. I mean, nothing. Huh. Well, what the hell? Oh, I guess this must be the place. Of course, it's underground. You know, I was never actually told that this doctor guy would be receptive to visitors. So I decided to enter the cave cautiously. The last thing I was wanting was a belly full of buckshot just because he misread my intentions. Okay. He wasn't shooting, so that was a good sign.
Yes? What do you want?
So I've heard S.T.A.L.K.E.R still alive. You know where he is?
S.T.A.L.K.E.R. You sure?
Yeah, I'm quite certain. The entire zone can't stop talking about him. I need to find him, though. Have you got any ideas where he might be?
Well, well. Even after all of these years. Regrettably, I do not know for certain. The man is like a ghost. But if there is one place he would visit somewhat frequently, it would have to be his hideout in the S.T.A.L.K.E.R underground. You may be able to find him there, or at least some clues. To get there, enter via a manhole somewhere around the northern complex. Then just check the walls underground for any large circular openings you could climb into. One of them will lead you into his hideout.
Okay, thanks for the info. I suppose it's time for an adventure.
If you do find him, please tell him to visit an old friend every once in a while.
Will do. See you. Agroprom Underground. Wasn't quite sure what that was, but I know I didn't like the sound of underground. Plus, if this S.T.A.L.K.E.R is as important as everyone makes him out to be, I was sure that his hideout wouldn't be that easy to get to. I emerged back out into the cold rain. I was ready to be done with the swamp. Looks like I needed to head further north to find S.T.A.L.K.E.R's hideout. And the only path leading to the Agroprom Underground looked to be not too terribly far east of me. So I had my heading and my objective, leading me into yet another part of the zone that was unknown to me. This was it. The path to Agroprom. You know, it was weird. The radiation sign at the start of the path. It's just one of those things you pass by in the zone. You don't give a second thought. In the normal world, that is a massive red flag. That is a no-go zone. You stay as far away as possible. But here, no one cares. You just keep on walking. In hindsight, maybe I should have paid attention more to it. Maybe not for the warning of radiation, but at least for the warning of danger ahead. And there was danger ahead. But that was a lesson I wouldn't learn until it was too late.